Hello, everyone, and welcome to Nails and Beauty Talk. I am your host, Asia the Bird. To have a very special guest with us today, she is a nail artist and educator. Please welcome Nailed by Tammy. Hello,
Oh,
Tammy, and welcome.
hello. Thank you for having me. I'm excited
Yes,
to be here.
absolutely. Yeah, glad to have you. I want to go ahead and get started by asking where you're originally from and tell us a little about your upbringing.
So I am originally from Detroit, Michigan. Born and raised, and I'm an only child to my
Mm,
parents. I was raised by myself, but I had a very good upbringing. I did stay in the inner city of Detroit, so a little rough, but outside of that, I had a great upbringing. Um, my mother's was like the 9 to 5er. My dad entrepreneur.
mhm,
So I grew up kind of seeing both sides. Um,
mhm,
I went to all girl high school, went to private school all my life actually until I went
mhm.
to college. I went to private school all my life. Went
Right.
to all girl high school, college preparatory. Then I came here to Nashville, Tennessee to attend Tennessee State University. I graduated from there and I just stayed here.
Yeah, cool. As far as college, what did you major in?
I majored in business information systems. So that's essentially IT.
Okay, cool, cool. I want to definitely get into this other question. Like prior to nails and beauty, what was like your other like interest in terms of like hobbies and things like that?
I'll be honest. Um, I'm trying to think what were my hobbies prior. I was just talking about this that 2024 I want to establish a hobby. I feel like now everything is just like work, thinking up
Right.
ideas to generate income. Like I just want to have a
Yeah.
hobby where I don't expect nothing but just to relax and enjoy. But my hobbies prior, ooh, I don't even know. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. From college, I did
Mhm.
volunteer a lot like when I graduated. That period of time when I was in corporate America, I did a
Right.
lot of volunteering in my off time
Mhm.
because at that time, I mean, you work 7 days a week, and on the weekend, I'm not thinking about work. So, so I would spend that time volunteering, um, still kind of just living life, partying. I don't have kids, so yeah, but I can't even think of what my real hobby was, like something I just love to do.
Mhm.
I mean, I love anything that's gonna create a memory. I mean, I don't know what my
Yeah.
hobby was, but I want to establish one for 2024.
Yeah, right, exactly. Now, as far as role models, who did you consider to be like your role models in your life and career?
In my life, honestly, my parents really like they
Mhm.
showed me both sides of the coin. So
Right.
I saw the hustler, entrepreneur side, getting it out the mud, the power of knowing people like it's like not what you know, it's who you know. I saw that from my
Right.
dad's side. And then from my
Yeah.
mom's side, I saw her put in long hours, be committed to one company 40 years. So I
Wow.
saw both sides, and I'm it's like it has its pros and cons, both
Right.
sides, and I'm seeing how that has manifested in my adult life, and so
Right.
in some
Mhm.
good ways and bad ways. So, but my
Mhm.
parents were my main influences um, as far as life in general.
I want to go ahead and push gears and talk about salon ownership. So, what has been like your experience as far as owning your own salon, and were there any setbacks as far as developing your own salon slash studio?
Yeah. So I've always been in a salon suite. I'm still in a salon suite, and I have goals to move outside of that suite, but I've always been in
Mhm.
a suite, and
Mhm.
I really how it came about was God. I didn't plan that. It just happened. I got my license and I was working in IT, and I wanted to do nails full time, but obviously, financially just wasn't making sense. So I did
Right.
nails part time, and then literally I just stopped thinking about it. I gave it over to God, and I got a layoff notice like 4 months after getting
Mhm.
my license. We got severance, and I just found a suite like literally the same week I got layoff notice. I found a suite that
Right.
week. And it just went from there. But I will say that being by yourself, which I'm used to being because I'm an only child, but in
Right.
business, being by yourself, it definitely is, it's up to you to fully curate every aspect of that business.
Right.
It's up to you to reach out to for help. It's up to you to seek resources and seek knowledge. And there's nobody there every day to, hey, bounce a question off of. So
Yeah.
that's been my experience. So I've really had to be intentional here in these past few years
Hmm.
about getting outside of my box, literally my suite, and getting connected with the right people.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to get into the business side of entrepreneurship and marketing. So not only are you a nail tech, but you're also a nail business coach. You offer mentoring to teen girls and other people who have an interest in getting into the business aspect of the nail industry. So tell us about some of the master classes that you offer, but also about the Ultimate Teen Nail Workshop.
So I started teaching like actual nail workshops. Well, I started one-on-one classes in 2018, and then I
Mhm.
did my first workshop, like actual just technique nail workshop. I think that was 2019. Yeah, I think that was 2019. No, 2021. It's 2021. I had my first
Mhm.
actual workshop, and then last year I launched my mentorship program. And
Mhm.
so the whole goal and vision for my mentoring is to, show nail techs that we can grow beyond our services. Like we are not our services. I feel like in the nail, as far as a nail tech, a lot of us just become, um, like I say, I do nails, nail tech, right? Like, oh, I just do
Right.
nails. Like, no, like we're a business. We do more than that. And so
Right.
there's other lanes that you can carve out of this one business. And so that's
Mhm.
really my mission and my vision and goal with being a mentor as a whole, no matter whether it's a teenager or someone that's already in the industry looking to get in it, is to just show
Right.
you like we are more than our services. We can grow beyond just sitting at the nail tape.
Yeah, absolutely, most definitely. So you also host the Nail Tech Link Up. Tell us more about that too.
Yes. Also, so the link up is more like marketing focused, business structure focused,
Mhm.
sales focused, community focused, building up the nail community and
Right.
really just like I'm really on a mission to just show that we have to do more than just doing nails. And
Mhm.
that was kind of that was the light bulb for me that went off and helped my business and my outlook on what I could grow this thing to is seeing
Right.
that we have to operate how all these bigger corporations operate. They
Mhm.
don't just provide a service when you go to, you know, I don't know, McDonald's anywhere. It's more than that. We have to
Right.
market that. Like if we want to grow
Mhm.
beyond just having that clientele, we want to be a household name. We want to be the best of the best. Like we have to be known, and marketing is a huge part of that. Really, the number one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Because I think, and I like the point that you made as far as we're more than just a service.
Hmm.
Because the thing is, what people don't think about is we wear multiple hats. We're business people. We're marketing ourselves. We're putting
Hmm.
out our best work. Then we're servicing clients. Then we're trying to do really good content creations and things like that. So
Exactly.
there's multiple facets as far as being a business.
Absolutely. And we're always. I find myself, and I'm sure a lot of nail techs like we're always educating. And
Right.
I'm educating not just fellow nail techs, but I'm educating my clients as well.
Right.
So I'm always teaching. Like I literally just made a post about how I used to say I would never teach because I just want to give you the answer. I don't want to go through what it takes to really, help it soak in. That was when I was younger.
Right.
But now it's just
Mhm.
like it's natural for me to teach, especially when you love something, you truly have an intimate knowledge of it.
Right.
It's easy to to share and teach that information and pass it along to other people. So like you said, we wear many hats, and the teen nail workshop is, my way of really reaching the kids, and
Hmm.
opening their minds to the fact that, like, you can go to college. Like, I went to college, I got my degree. I'm
Hmm.
happy that I did. I loved what I did in college. And then
Right.
I have my own business, and I became an entrepreneur, and I love that. So I
Right.
really, my goal is to be able to talk to the younger generation and let them know, like, you have options, but whatever option you pick, you need to love that thing. Even if it's college. I was strategic when I went to college. I was strategic in nail business. Like, I didn't just go to college just to say I got a degree. Like, I picked something that I knew I would love, no matter if I never
Right.
worked for myself.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I was the same way when I went to art school. Like I picked something that I truly love. Like I'm an artist, like all around. So
Hmm.
my major was illustration. So I didn't just pick a major, just for the sake of taking it.
Right.
You take something that you're passionate about and that means something to you and you can benefit from.
Exactly.
And we hear about cases where people major in something and they don't use it.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So like how you said, and I like the point, and you were spot on. Like if you're going to major in something, if you're going to go to college or like community college or a trade school, be in something that you can benefit from, but also what you're passionate about.
Hmm. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to get into this next thing. So you mentioned the Instagram reel about the 3 game-changing mindset shifts for new entrepreneurs. Could you explain those?
Yeah. I had to go back and look. I was like, oh, okay. You did some research, okay. I was like, what did I say? But yeah, so the first game changer was, like, there is a cap on our income if we're only at the table. Like, there's only 24 hours a day. Even if you
Right,
could work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, there's still a cap on that.
right.
So we have to start thinking of other ways, because, and then also, not only is there a cap on that, it fluctuates. So
Mhm.
what do you have in place in your business that can supplement or even help you exceed your goals as far as uh income and profits and stuff? And so a lot of us, we don't have products. We don't, if we do have the knowledge and expertise, we don't have ebooks, we don't have digital products, we're not offering nail classes. So
Right,
we have to start, or how can we connect with someone else and leverage their audience to help boost our business? So, like, we're not
right,
thinking outside the box, and so we become capped, we become burned out, because that
right,
cap makes you feel burned out.
right.
Um, because especially if you desire to do more and grow, and scale, yeah, there's a cap on our income when you're only doing services.
Mhm.
And then the second thing, what was it? Oh, the second thing was, um, you can't, hold on, I had to write it down. Oh, value, the value of connections, right? Not
Mhm.
the value of connections. Like, it is, um, like I said earlier, it's like what you know, and not just, it's not just what you know, it's who you know. And so a lot of
Yeah.
us, um we want to stay out the way, and we want to, be solo. And I'm like,
Mhm.
I've grown more by being in the way. I've been grown more by being in communities and circles of people
Right.
who will help me, expand my mindset, who are going to hold me accountable, who are in a level where I'm trying to get to. And so
Right.
really
Mhm.
understanding the value of getting connected to people and not trying to just be by yourself. Which
Mhm.
I'm even still, like, having to condition myself and be intentional about, like, you gotta, say, you gotta get around people, you gotta collaborate, you gotta do this, you gotta
Right.
do that, just because I feel like that solo mentality is so ingrained in me, because I am an only child, because I grew up by myself. Of course, I was around people, I had family and everything, but
Mhm.
just at the end of the day, it's me. And that's still
Right.
that's still the situation now. And so I have to constantly remind myself, like, I gotta stay connected. I gotta be on the scene. I gotta be present. I gotta show up. And connecting isn't just always just going to an event. It's connecting like on the internet. You don't know
Right.
what can happen. You know,
Yeah.
AB could reach out to you for a podcast interview. You never know. You know, if you're out and about in the social media streets and you're actually providing value, that's the way you gotta build connections and see the value in that. And then the third thing was having a big business mindset. So a
Mhm.
lot of us, I do not use the term when I'm speaking. I don't use the term small business. To me, it's like I don't even like saying broke. Even if I was broke, I don't like saying it. So
Right.
it's just like something about when the power of the tongue. And so
Yeah.
I don't like to say small business, and I feel like that almost keeps us thinking small. And so
Right.
I like to have a big business mindset. And
Mhm.
so when I'm having a big business mindset, I'm thinking on a level of where I'm trying to get to. So before I
Right.
get there, I have to start thinking like that while I'm down here, while I am small, technically. So
Mhm.
just having a big business mindset and taking risks, making big moves
Mhm.
now while you are quote unquote by society standards right now small.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And the mindset is everything. Like you have to shift your
Hmm.
mindset. Like how you said, don't think small. Like think where you want to go and
Hmm.
things like that. So even if you're still developing your business, still growing your business, you don't want to think of it as small. That's like how you were saying, like putting stuff out into the universe. You got to be careful with that, like power
Hmm.
of the tongue type of thing.
Exactly.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So that's something to really consider.
Yeah, we limit ourselves, and everything that I say, I'm guilty of, have been guilty of, or it's
Hmm.
something that I'm always working on, or something that I've overcome. So when I say like you got to think big, I'm constantly reminding myself of doing that because I think
Hmm.
we have fear, which was really just brought on something we create. We have fear. We have all these things that are rooted in fear, perfectionism, procrastination, everything. And so
Right.
we all constantly battle with those things at some point or some
Hmm.
aspect of it. And so you have to constantly remind yourself, like, no, I know where I'm trying to go. I know I'm trying to, if your desire is to open that big salon or if your desire is to, be a household name, like you have to move like that now, though.
Right,
Yeah.
absolutely, most definitely. Now, as far as content creation for people that struggle with creating content, what are some things you would suggest as far as, creating good content for nails?
Man, so the first thing we have to get into the habit of is everything is content. Every single thing is content. And then secondly, one thing that has really helped me is like just be myself. Even in a
Right.
caption, I'm going to talk how I talk in whatever way you meet me. So if I say y'all a lot, I'm gonna say y'all in my captions. I wanna talk like I would just casually talk to anyone about whatever that specific topic is. And so you have to really tap into your social voice, which really my social voice is my voice in person, on camera, off camera, in person, whatever.
Right.
My social voice is literally just my true authentic self. And so I feel
Hmm.
like, and then also I just speak very casually, like, how would I talk about this topic to AB? Like, how would I talk about this topic to my coach? That's how
Right.
I'm gonna talk. Like, and that's
Yeah.
actually what builds the connection is the authenticity and the
Right.
transparency. And
Hmm.
so a lot of us, we're like my coach said, like, you're underthinking. We underthink stuff. And so when I stop underthinking and I really stop just scratching the surface with my content, that's when like the game changed. Like I was just on fire.
Hmm.
I was on fire last year, like because I was fed up with, you know, how things were going
Right.
in my business. And so I was just like, I'm sick of it. Okay, let's turn it up.
Mhm. Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
think we have to really just get out of our comfort zone, think
Mhm.
outside the box, but also get connected with somebody that can ignite that, because I feel like we know a lot of stuff, right? But sometimes you just have to get connected with the right person, like a mentor
Right.
or a coach, and they will ignite something that's already there. But sometimes we just need
Mhm.
somebody to push us or say something in a certain way and map things out in a certain way for us, and you know, we just take it from there.
Yeah, absolutely, most definitely. Now, how does one monetize their content?
So, okay, so the old way, well, one of the easier old ways that Instagram provided for a while was like the Reels monetization. You know, they were giving us the Reel bonuses. And you know, I was making a couple like $100 or something off of that a month. But I didn't rely on that. So the way we monetize our content is we have to first know the audience and talk
Mhm.
directly to them. And then you have to have a lead magnet, and then you lead them into your funnel, and then you provide value and you give them the offer. And so how I say, like, I monetize a reel, I could post a reel if I have intention behind it, strategy, systems, and everything. I could post a reel, and according to my strategy, if everything was executed properly, I can make, you know, $100. I can make $2,000. I can make, it's just how you have to have all of the components connected to that piece of content. And that's how
Mhm.
you monetize the reel. But you can't monetize it if you don't have a goal. You don't have a
Mhm.
goal, you don't have steps, you don't have systems. There's no way to even track that it was actually monetized.
Mhm. Yeah,
So that
absolutely. So I want to go ahead and talk about podcasting. So you and My J Nails have a podcast called We Talk Nails. Like, how did that podcast come about?
You know, me Jazz and I, we've known each other for a while, and you know, just because we kind of, you know, connected through, we both actually went to TSU. We didn't know each other at that time.
Mhm.
She's a little younger than me, but we both went to TSU, so we kind of just had um similar connections, but we just never really got together, and so um
Right.
we became boss besties because we joined the same community, the Spa Boss Tribe, led by Candace Holyfield, and we
Mhm.
joined that community at the same time, and we linked up, became boss besties, and we just hit it off from there. She's in Atlanta, I'm in Nashville, and so we were like, man, you know, we're both like on the same mission, essentially, to help the nail techs. And so we
Right.
were like, we need to come together and, you know, just have like formal talk, and then just like, you know, just to talk about the struggles that we have. We can have guest speakers and stuff like that too. We could be informal and just, you know, let people ask questions. We could just vent. We could, you know, just a way to connect with our nail
Mhm.
community and know that there's a
Mhm.
place that you could come, um, and, you know, learn from us, but also understand that you're not in this alone. Like, we've been through some of the same things, or we're going through some of the same things that you either have gone through or may go through. And so
Mhm.
we just came up with We Talk Nails, and we love it. We
Mhm.
took a break, but we're gonna come back strong in 2024.
Oh, that's really, really amazing. I want to also get into as far as pricing. So
Mhm.
how would you like what was the journey as far as you pricing your nail services? And also what would be some things that, nail artists and nail tech should consider when pricing?
Ooh, I just did a whole webinar on this on Sunday. I just did the power of pricing webinar, and man, pricing, that that actually is, I feel like, other than mindset, right? But even with pricing, there's a mindset around that. And that's what
Right.
keeps us underpricing. But pricing really is what has the biggest chokehold on us. And so we do a lot of work. We're doing a lot of physical labor and mental labor,
Right.
especially if you are doing art, and just the fact of dealing with people, right?
Mm.
Can be mentally taxing. And then
Right.
also trying to, do all these other aspects of the business, marketing, social media, you know, getting materials, buying this. Oh my gosh, it's just so much. And so a lot of
Hmm.
times we feel like we are working and working and working, and the math isn't mathing. And it's because we have this idea about pricing that, oh, we're gonna lose people, or we're not gonna get people because our price is $80 and somebody else down the street or the traditional nail salons or local shops
Right.
are, $50 or $40. And so
Exactly.
we get caught up on either wanting to service everybody or not losing who we have. And it's just a big, and that's kind of in the beginning stages. I would say maybe the first 1 to 3 years. And then you start hitting that point where, like, hold on, I know what I've put in. I
Hmm.
know that, I stay on top of the trends. I know that I've worked on my technique, or I've got it close to perfection. I know that I've
Hmm.
done this. I do this. You start really beginning to understand and know the worth and the value of you and your brand as a whole, because I feel like pricing is not just the product itself or the service. It's the brand, the value of the brand. These bigger companies,
Mm.
they don't charge just because, oh, their shoe is a good shoe. It's because, no, everybody knows who we are, and you're gonna pay for that. Everybody
Yeah,
knows
like
when you
pushing
say
Louis
this
Vuitton.
name, right? Everybody knows when you say this particular name, this company name, it holds weight. And so you have to,
Hmm.
that's part of the price too. And so then you get to that point where you've undercharged for so long. This is my story, and I'm trying to help other nail techs not have the same story. And so you get to this point where you undercharging for so long, then it's just like, okay, something's gotta change. And
Right.
for myself, my story was I had to do a huge price increase. I
Mm.
didn't do a big enough increase over the years, year after year. So I was just, I'm making all this money. I'm booked and busy, but I'm burnt out because
Right.
I need more money to invest in my business in other ways, and I
Hmm.
can't, because I'm not charging enough. And so, my story, I had to go up like anywhere from like $25 to $60 on my services, because
Hmm.
and then I also changed my pricing structure as well from the traditional pricing structure. So, that was a huge impact, but I knew it had to be done because I knew I needed to make enough money to invest in the resources and have the time to be able to grow and scale my business.
Mm, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, that's very interesting that you mentioned was, people think of the brand as far as with pricing. It's not just the quality of the product. When you think of
Yeah.
like Christian Louis Vuitton, or like you think of like a Louis Vuitton or something like that, things like that,
Yeah.
they don't think about just the quality of what they make. It's also the name as
Yeah,
well. You
it's
give
who
them the
they
name as
are.
well.
It's who
Yeah,
they are.
Hermes, same thing.
Yeah. It's who they are. And when you know that you have put in so much, you got to you have to be compensated for that. But also, I
Hmm.
will say too, on the flip side of pricing is, of course, we want to have top tier pricing, especially as solo nail techs. You want to have top tier pricing and stuff, but also at the end of the day, it has to be justified. So we have to do a true assessment of like truly what is our value though, because if I'm
Right.
if I haven't done anything different, if I haven't been investing in my growth, like, okay, is this price justified? So you do have to look at that and do an honest assessment as well, because it's one thing to want to charge a certain price, but then to actually have the justification, and the authority to charge that, that's another thing.
Mm, absolutely. So I remember watching in an episode of your podcast, We Talk Nails, and you had I So Love Feet,
Mhm.
as a guest.
Yes.
And you talked about the popularity of foot service, specifically pedicures. So why are pedicures and foot services the most in demand service?
I think right now I don't know if they're, well, I'll say this. I don't know because I don't do a whole bunch of feet, but I will say this about feet. And so I don't know about the in demand part, but I
Hmm.
would say that people are more in tune because of social
Hmm.
media. People are more in tune about the health of their feet,
Hmm.
the care, the self-care aspect, the different levels of pedicures and foot treatments and services that you can get. People are more aware. And so if you are in that lane and you can tap in, you can be very much in demand. And
Hmm.
so also I think another reason why if you are tapped into feet, you could become in demand because a lot of us nail techs don't do feet as well. So a lot of us that do acrylic, we don't do feet as well. Um, and so you would already be a hot commodity, just the fact that you offer all the services there, or foot and hand
Hmm.
services there. But also if you could specialize in, like what he does, that's very specialty, that's very niche, that's very unique, it's exclusive. And so
Hmm.
as long as you know your audience, you can really flourish with that. And so
Hmm.
I think that the key part is something's in demand. I feel like you create the desire. So
Hmm.
once I set my eyes on, hey, I'm gonna focus on pedicures, like, okay, but I have to show the people what I want them to get. And
Right.
so there's a whole strategy that you have to execute to get people interested. Like I always say, and I learned this in corporate America, like we don't, most times we as people, we don't know what we want. These companies, right? They come together and they show us stuff and we decide we want that. And so
Right.
it's the same thing with us. You put it together the right way and you present it the right way, people are gonna want it.
Hmm.
So so I feel like with the pedicures, because a lot of people don't do it, a lot of people care about their feet now, not just the look of it, but the aesthetics. I mean, not just the aesthetics, but the actual health. And
Right.
you have people that, they work closely with podiatrists to help people who actually have, are under a podiatrist care, but then they can come to you as a certified, I think, medical nail tech, and get the other aspect that the podiatrist doesn't do. And so I think it's very specialty, and say maximize on that or capitalize on that, and you could be a big deal and in demand.
Hmm. Yeah, right. Absolutely. Now, what are some like your favorite nail products to use for nail art and nail services?
So for nail art, I'm gonna tell you my go-to is like everything D&D. I love their gel polish. So I only use gel polish. I mean, really nobody's using regular polish for nail art these days. But
Right.
I love D&D, right? I love D&D gel polish, right? And I love it because it's highly pigmented, but it's thin. So
Hmm.
it's thin, but it's highly pigmented, and
Right.
it's thick enough to where I could do all my nail art. I do use like gel paint from Tammy Taylor. I'll use like her black gel paint or her white gel paint.
Hmm.
Or I might use Poochie's black gel paint from her as well to do like outlining, especially when
Hmm.
or line work.
Right.
The gel paints are better for that. So I usually use
Hmm.
Poochie or Tammy Taylor for the gel paints, gel
Hmm.
polishes for art, and regular, just if someone just wants all gel polish, I use mostly D&D. I use some Tammy Taylor as well.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, that's my go-to. And as far as the brushes, honestly, so the brushes that I use were some brushes I used to sell, but no matter where I get brushes from, like I have to customize them because
Mhm.
You know, sometimes they're a little too thick for the line that I'm trying to create or the design. And so sometimes you have to
Mhm.
kind of custom cut them and make them, you know, be what you
Mhm.
need it to be to get the design accomplished.
Yeah, right, exactly. And I used to do that, cut my brushes down. I would get like some brushes from like an art store or something like that,
Yeah.
like from Michaels or whatever, and just cut them
Mhm.
down. But there are certain brands like Model Ones, and there's a black nail artist who sells her own brushes. Her name is Nails by Nicole
Oh
J.
yeah, they're called. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, she has her own line of brushes. Yeah, her
Yeah.
brushes are really good.
Yes, yes, I've heard. So yeah, I think, you know, those are like, well, now I know those are my favorite gel products to use for nail art. Um, what else do I use? I just use a little bit of everything. I have glitters from, actual companies, and then I have glitters from Michaels, just random stuff.
Right,
As far as acrylic, like powders and liquids, like one of my favorite acrylic brands, I use their liquid and their powders a lot is Premium Nails, and I actually just like we have a partnership for my Build Your Nail class workshop that I'm doing. So I'm super excited about that. But I love and I only use their monomer. I use their clear, their white, all their powders are awesome.
mhm,
And then I have my own powder that I sell, and then I use a couple other brands, but
right.
Premium Nails is like lit, and they've been around for a long time. They've been
Wow.
around for a long time. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, those are my go-to.
Cool. So I definitely want to get into as far as the nail industry now. What are some things you like about the nail industry, but also what are some things you think the nail industry could be improved on?
Um, ooh, I think honestly, the number one thing that the nail industry can be improved on is unity. um,
Mhm.
I feel like there's certain some people get it and some people don't. Let me say that. I'm gonna keep it. I don't. Yeah, that's the easiest way to put it. Some people get
Right.
the aspect
Mm.
of unifying and coming together and collaborating, and some of us don't. And so we've got to do better. Those that us that haven't quite gotten it, we need to get it together. And always wanting to just work on our own. And I would say I'm guilty too, you know what I'm saying? Like, and
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
not that I want to work on my own. It's just I know for me, my explanation or excuse has always been that
Mhm.
I'm from Detroit. So I'm just like not now so much, but I've always just naturally been skeptical of people from being from up north in a bigger city. So it's not that I can't work with other people. I work well with people, but I'm just
Right.
always skeptical, and so I've gotten out of that. And I've seen the value of coming together, like how Jazz and I come together.
Mhm.
Me, her, and Diamond, like we're all like boss besties now. So and we hold each other accountable and stuff like that. So really
Right.
seeing we need to see the value in coming together. That's really what's missing. Because I feel like once you do that, everything else follows. So first you got to get, your mindset shifted around that and then actually make it happen. And then everything else is gonna follow. Um and then you said the good side of the
Yeah.
industry. Oh, I think the good side of it is the ability to truly just be yourself, and do you. And you could create whatever lane you want for yourself. And
Mhm.
I feel like especially right now, I feel like if you get connected with the right people, such as myself or whoever you see fit, for nail techs, this is the time to stand out because a
Mhm.
lot of us aren't. Just keeping it real. And when I say a lot of us aren't, not because we're not fully capable of standing out, but because we just don't know. We don't have we don't have the tools. We haven't understood the value of getting connected with the right people. And so
Right.
those who have it, it's a lot of us who have not came to that realization yet in the nail industry. And so I think this is prime time for nail techs to really stand out and do bold things, be different, move
Right.
different, be in the way, be on the scene. Like this is the time because a lot of us are not doing. And so that is
Mhm.
that's a pro. That's an opportunity there. Um
Mhm.
yeah. So that's the good
Mhm.
thing though. We fully have the range to do that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's so much, access now as far as like social media and
Exactly.
technology is getting more advanced now. And I definitely want to get into the AI aspect of things. So what is your take on the growth of AI? What's your perspective on the growth of technology
I love
as far
it. I love it.
as
So it's full circle moment for me because my background is IT.
Mhm.
Like that's what I actually did. I got my degree, but I actually did that all the way from 2008 until 2015. When I started Nail by Tammy. So it's coming full circle for me because technology, I love technology. I love working with systems and programs. Like that was I was never a hardware girl. I was a software girl and
Mhm.
programs. And so, working with programs and tools and systems, like it comes so easy for me. And
Mhm.
so the whole AI thing is like, oh, this is even like I just love anything that's challenging, new, creative when it comes to technology. And
Right.
so I like the AI. I like that we don't have to over analyze and overthink everything.
Right.
We can utilize AI to our advantage.
Right.
However, I will caution that you got to be careful because you want to still seem authentic. You still want to come off as authentic. And I know with
Right.
some of these systems, it can have you sounding real bot like. And so
Right.
we don't want to get lazy and, not pour our true selves into, those aspects where AI can be utilized.
Mhm.
But it is a great tool. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna take over like a lot of people were fearful of.
Mhm.
I don't think it's gonna take over completely, right? We're still gonna have human
Mhm.
interaction, but it's a great tool. It's just like you got to know when to use it and when not to, how to use it. But I love it. I've been messing around with like Bing and creating different stuff from there. So I like it. I like it.
Mhm.
And
Now, how would you
chat GPT and all that stuff. Hmm.
mhm. Yeah, yeah, ChatGPT.
Yeah. That's like the go-to.
Yeah, yeah, right, exactly. Now, how would you define success in the nail industry?
Oh, how would I define success in the nail industry? Hmm. I feel like defining my success in the nail industry is not doing the norm. Like
Mhm.
doing things that are outside the norm, that's success to me. Doing things that are different and off the beaten path, but still is helping and serving the nail community. That success to me is when you can do things that are unpredictable but game changing at the same time.
Right.
So
Mhm.
that's success to me when you stand out and you are you know, you stand out, you're top of mind, that's success.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I want to get into this one question because I know you recently made a post about it. So there was a saying from Tyler Perry. I watched a video from what Tyler Perry said, focus on one thing,
Mhm,
and the rest will, grow to other things.
mhm,
And you made a post, talking about that you watched Maxine's Baby,
mhm.
which is a documentary about Tyler Perry. I haven't seen it yet personally, but with watching that documentary, like in what ways, like how did you connect with that documentary?
Woo, I don't know why that I'm sorry. Um, it chokes me up because I didn't even go through half the stuff that he went through. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Um, and so when I'm not doing what I need to do, when I'm not where I want to be, I'm
Right.
not able to help the people I want to help, and I didn't even go through half the stuff he went through. Um,
Mm.
it was just like a wake up call, you know.
Mhm.
Um, so I gotta push harder, um, because I just want to leave a huge impact on the world, on the community, on the nail community, on anybody connected to me. And
Mhm.
so, um, yeah, it's like, dang, you know, I didn't even go through nothing like what he went through. Okay, I had a great upbringing. You know, and so it's just like it was a real look in the mirror, like you're not doing enough. Not discrediting anything that I've done. Not saying that I'm not grateful for how far I've come. Not saying
Right.
that I'm not
Mhm.
blessed for where I am and where I know I'm gonna go and all that God has done for me and the people that are connected to me. But just realizing that like, you know, um, yeah, I got more work to do and
Mhm.
I have to move, um, yeah, I have to move different and I have to not second guess. I have to, like you said, I have to focus and I have to just go hard. Um, so yeah,
Mhm.
I get choked up every time just thinking about that movie. Thinking
Yeah.
about it. Yeah, because it's no excuse. He didn't make no excuses. So
Mhm.
why should I? So
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And the thing is also too, I think, well, what you're doing is absolutely remarkable because, you and My J Nails, you have a podcast where you're highlighting other nail artists. You're teaching other people about business, especially people who want to get into the, aspects of the nail industry.
yeah.
So I think you are touching people, so it's very easy, for us, and I'm hard on myself sometimes too. What I
Yeah.
mean? I'm like, oh, I could do more in this, that, and the third. But I had also learned too, and I always practice like, you know, that whole thing with, shifting mindset,
Hmm.
say, look at where, how far you have come, look at
Yes.
what you have done instead of what you didn't do.
Absolutely.
You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? And I think that, like with, whether it's our parents, our friends, they push us and stuff like that. But it's also too, I think what we tend to forget is establishing grace for ourselves.
Hmm.
So you do have to at sometimes, establish where say, hey, this is how far I've come, I am doing the right thing. Of
Right.
course it's more to do, of
Oh
course.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
But of course, apply that grace, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think um I think that that movie, along with other things, I think it's just, you get those reminders that like, hey, like you can't, at those times where you don't need to be slacking, like you don't need to slack. In those times where
Right.
you can do more and it's not about grace and gratitude, like actually know you legitimately could do more and need to do more, do it.
Right.
And so
Hmm.
I think we have those moments, but we do have to have those times, like you said, extend yourself grace and then just pick up and know, okay, we got work to do.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, right, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it also goes down with also as well being fearless as well. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? Don't be afraid, like how Steve Harvey said, don't be afraid to take that leap. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? Don't be afraid to jump, because
Right. Yes.
again, like how you say, you don't know what the future holds. You don't know what may happen.
Yeah.
So it's like, my dad always told me like, preparation meets opportunity.
Hmm.
These opportunities, be prepared for opportunities, but seize these opportunities that can help you elevate and grow.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think uh I think that's where, you know, I think that's where I'm at, where it's like, okay, I gotta start taking those leaps of faith. I gotta start, taking some risks, get out of my comfort zone in certain areas because I
Mhm.
feel like at each level there's something you've got to conquer.
Right.
And so you may have conquered procrastination at this level, right? But now you're here and now you're doing it again. So we got to conquer that again at this stage.
Right.
Then you got to conquer it at this stage. So I
Right.
think
Exactly.
I'm at this stage now. I'm past this one, but I'm here now. And so I'm like, okay, now I got to conquer the getting out the comfort zone again at this level. So,
Mhm.
and I think a lot of us on the outside looking in, and I think I'm like this too sometimes, or have been in the past, is that we look on the outside, we're on the outside looking in, and we're thinking like this person has it all together. Yeah, they may have it all together on the level they used to be on, but they ain't got it all together on this level that they're at now. And so there's some
Right.
work to be done so they can get past this level and move on. So, I may have conquered one level, but I'm here at this next one, and there's another set of things that has to, or a mindset shift that has to happen at this new level. So,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, most definitely. Last but not least, where can people find you on social media and how can people support you and your business?
you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, across all social media platforms. You can find me at Nailed by Tammy. That is Nail D by Tammy, or Nail apostrophe D
Yeah,
by
yeah.
Tammy across all platforms. Nailbytammy.com. Yeah, that's how you find me.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Tammy, for jumping on the show. Your work is absolutely great. I love what you're doing, giving back to the community, teaching others about the business of the nail industry and helping people elevate. So, there again, I think you're doing very great things. I like how you and My J Nails are doing, the podcast together. You guys are coming back 2024. So I definitely wish you the best of luck. And thank you so much. I had a very wonderful conversation with you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I enjoyed this.
Yes, absolutely. Take care.
Okay, bye.
Hello, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to click the bell for notifications. Also, follow me on my social media platforms and visit my website, ASIATHABIRD.com, and be on the lookout for more interviews to come very soon. Take care, stay healthy, and stay beautiful. Bye-bye.